Hi, and welcome to the Finding Purpose in Grief podcast. My name is Evie, and this is my husband, Oren. And today we are going to be having conversation with each other.
You and
And
me.
you
Just
and me.
a little talk.
Just a little talk about why we want to start this podcast
All
and
right.
the importance of it.
Okay.
So would you like to go first?
Yeah, I have a question for you.
All right.
Why do you want to start this podcast?
I want to start this podcast to help other people.
Okay.
I know that you and I have struggled, through this journey off and on. There's some days that are better than others. But for the most part, this can feel very lonely and
Definitely.
isolating. Even with a bunch of people in the room, you could feel very alone.
Yeah.
So I want to help others to know that they're not alone, to know that they have community, family, and most importantly, Christ.
Okay. Why did you come up with the name Finding Purpose in Grief?
Well, for me, my counselor gave me in the beginning of the year, instead of doing what do they call them? Like in the beginning of the year where you have to think of
I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
That thing.
like that thing that everybody always fails at, right? Yeah. So she said, instead of doing that, a resolution, there we go. Okay. Instead of having a resolution, let's think of a word from God. And so in talking to him, prayer looks kind of different for me now, but in talking with him, communing with him, I kept getting the word purpose. And so when I went back to the counselor, I told her my word for the year is purpose. And when we started discussing doing this podcast, purpose, that's the word that kept sticking out to me. And what journey are we in? We're in the grief journey, right? And so, and we're trying to find that purpose again. And going back to Bella's verse, Jeremiah 29:11, it talks about the plans that he has for us. And so I thought, wow, finding purpose is finding what the Lord has for us again. So finding purpose in grief is what made me was what I came up with.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And do you have a vision for what this podcast looks like, or ideas of what you wanted to accomplish?
Information. Lots of information. Part of the panel of people that we're going to have on are different psychologists, doctors, even pastors, and most importantly, our friends and I hope family to come and talk about their journeys. We'll have people on here that have experienced loss in different ways. And some of them might even be 10 years out or in, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And their perspective might be different.
Yeah.
And it might encourage those who are just starting out in this painful journey. And also letting them know that they have Christ. They have Jesus with them. If you know Christ and your loved one knew Christ, you will see them again. Yeah. They will be in heaven waiting for you.
Yeah, that is something
that promise of heaven is important.
Yeah, we've discussed it where I couldn't imagine trying to do this journey without the hope of Christ.
Right.
It would feel, the word is hopeless, and it would definitely feel that way.
Yeah. And that famous word that Josue uses,
tension.
That tension. We will discuss that. That tension of having joy in life still.
Yeah.
And the sadness that comes with a loved one leaving this earth.
Yeah. Are there any things that it's kind of a dumb question, but struggle with now?
Yes, I struggle with the tension.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be an important podcast.
Okay.
I struggle with that tension because I want to find joy. You and I are Mimi and Pop Pop, and we want to find joy in our grandchildren and our children and our family. And at the same time, we miss our daughter.
Yeah.
We miss her presence here. And we feel like she's missing out on family things. And although I know that she can still see us from heaven in some capacity, I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I believe she can. Yeah. And she has all the joys of watching us flourish.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've obviously had conversations with different people who have experienced heaven,
right,
or visions of heaven, encounters. And so
hope to have them on.
Yeah, that's the plan. So
yeah, give hope to other people about it.
Trying to realize that this isn't it.
Yeah.
Yes, we're here and we still feel, and we're going to have these feelings, but knowing that we will get there and we will see them again, all of our loved ones, my mother, my grandmother, different family members. So
Yeah, I think talking to the counselors, the psychologist counselors that come on are going to help people process that.
Yeah.
And if there's, you know, I found out through our counselor that there are different types of grief. There's traumatic ones, or ones that were kind of weighted. In other words, they knew that they were ill and it kind of just lingered on.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes the traumatic ones can be very painful and you can develop, PTSD and different things. And I know she's helped us immensely. I know for me, it was driving,
Yeah.
and one podcast will discuss that and how the Lord has helped me through that process. I didn't think I'd ever drive again, so and I am driving.
Yeah.
Maybe not like I used to, but I am driving. So allowing the Lord to heal you, allowing the Holy Spirit to guide you through this is important, and learning to hear his voice again, which can be very hard when you're grieving.
Yeah.
You and I
Definitely.
talk about that. We struggle with that sometimes, and I'm just so grateful that we have um pastoral friends that can come alongside us and help us through those questions and even those times where God feels silent.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I'm looking forward to in the conversations that we have with different people, I was never a emotional person. And so understanding why I'm going through these waves. I mean, we know the ultimate why,
Right.
but these waves of emotions, these highs and these lows and these
Mhm.
just, you know, withdrawal and all in, and it can change on the,
Yeah.
of a dime. And trying to understand that and hear from different hear different perspectives from
Right.
different people as to the whys
Hmm.
and what it looked like for them,
Hmm.
and going from there.
And that also makes you feel less alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the purpose, we already are finding the purpose is in the podcast and things that God is directing us to do and share, and having people on that will be able to bring some light to things.
Yeah. So it's to help us find our purpose
Right.
and in turn maybe help others to find their purpose, whatever that is. And,
Right.
we're not professionals. We are not
No.
going to have the answers and in the sense of this is step one, step two, step three,
Hmm.
but this is what we are doing and this is what is helping. This is what we did and it did not help.
Right.
It inhibited us from moving forward.
Hmm.
There's been times where I've definitely done things where I didn't do it in a more healthy way, and so trying to be able to step back and look at that now, you can see
Yeah.
I can do better.
Yeah. And different losses, we talk about the different words of, when you lose a parent, you're an orphan, and when you lose a spouse, you're a widower. But when you lose a child, there is no word for that
Yeah, so we
except
have that
for veloma,
veloma,
which is a
Sanskrit
script
word.
word,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
So for all our viewers and people who have lost children, that alone is a different beast.
yeah, well, so the word actually means out of order and chaos,
Right.
and so
And that's what we
that's what this
felt.
is. This
That's what we
is
felt.
completely out of order.
Yeah.
Um, the chaos of going from full-time parents,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
to empty nesters
Mhm.
is a very difficult journey. And
Mhm.
so trying to figure out what that looks like, you know, and
Yeah.
look what it looks like for you as a mother,
Right.
what it looks like for you as a spouse, what it
Mhm.
looks like for me as a father and a spouse.
Mhm.
I mean, this has impacted our emotions,
Mhm.
it's impacted our health, our sleep,
Right.
our mindset,
Mhm.
our mind capabilities
Right.
as to, you know, sometimes in the very beginning, doing basic math was extremely difficult.
Right.
And so, there's a lot
And
to
it
all
still
of
can
this.
be. It
There's
still can be.
there's days where trying to figure out a tape measure, it's not
Or
what it
where it
used to be
is.
or where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, where it is.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what our psychologist and holistic doctor come on will help us understand the effects of grief on the brain,
Yeah.
how it affects our bodies. And I think that'll be helpful to a lot of people because I think sometimes when people are in this situation, they feel crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
They feel like they're losing it. And that's why it's so important to seek help, seek wisdom from others that God has shown. They, the Lord uses people to help us.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we feel like he's silent, he's really not. He's saying, "Hey, there's someone over there that can help you." And, or, maybe there's a supplement, a vitamin or something that you're lacking.
Yeah.
Here's the answer.
Yeah.
So sometimes we could miss those answers because we're waiting on an audible voice, and it's not always that way. Sometimes it's found through his word, it's found through people.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be interesting, to say the
Sometimes
least.
the avoidance of sweeping things under the rug
Yeah.
also prevents you from being able to really understand what is going on.
Mhm.
I grew up suck it up buttercup, kind of you feel it, you put it down and you keep moving forward. And this loss didn't allow me to do that.
No.
And I say loss because here on earth it is a loss.
Right.
Some people don't like that word. Some people,
Yeah.
which is understandable,
Right.
but
We know where she's at,
she's not lost.
but
We know
currently
exactly
she is not physically with
she
us.
is not on this planet
Right.
with us right now.
Right.
And so, um, but by us pushing everything down or sweeping it under the rug,
Mhm.
avoiding it, you know, all of this grief impacts the body. And if you don't open up and address it and say, hey, I have a cut, I have a sore, I have a wound, I need to
Yeah.
address it, then it's just going to get worse and worse and impact your life in other ways.
I think my friend Lacey said it best when she said, if you broke your arm, you're not going to try to reset the bone yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You're going to go to the professional. And she also said that I think is very important, that it is a gift to help people through their junk.
Yeah.
I think that was her exact wording, which they were our first guests. And I'm really excited that they were on there.
Yeah.
I mean, excited is, I'm happy they were on there.
I'm appreciative that your friends have gone along this journey with you,
Right.
and held your hand and
Mhm.
and been there the best that they have been able to do,
Yeah.
which is so much more than what I've heard other uh,
Right.
families and friends do.
Well, that's something you wanted to kind of discuss is how to be a friend
Yeah.
to a grieving person.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what to say. They don't know what to say. They don't even know how to be around them anymore. So I think getting insights from people that have had to walk that journey with a friend is key.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. You don't have to have all the answers.
No.
You definitely can't fix the problem. So we're going to talk about what it means to come alongside.
Yeah.
And
And
just,
cry with you and be there. Most of my friends literally just cried with me.
yeah.
We were in a puddle on the floor sometimes, but I'm grateful for those friends and for family. Family is very important too. We are blessed to have very supportive family, from my parents to your aunt and uncle to kids. All of them have been very supportive. But in that, there is time where we have to allow for grace for each other, because we all process differently,
Yeah.
and learning that we all process differently so we can give grace to each other, like Christ gives us grace. And so sometimes that can be difficult in a family situation, but I think for the most part, I think our family has done pretty good on supporting each other and being there for each other, and I'm very grateful.
It's definitely had its challenges.
Right.
That is without
Mhm.
a doubt.
Mhm.
And so, well, we've, I think, navigated them pretty well.
Right.
Um, again, that is Christ. Christ is
Absolutely.
really, without him, this whole thing looks different. And so,
Very different. And that's what I think we want to direct people to. Ultimately is back to him.
yeah,
That he grieved just like we grieve. He grieved the loss of his cousin John the Baptist. He grieved the loss of his best friend Lazarus, but he still was able to walk that journey. And so are we,
yeah,
with him. So I think knowing that Christ went through that helps us to know that we can too make it through it.
definitely. Yeah.
And we can make a difference while we're doing it.
We've, I think, made a difference for people already.
Yeah.
Some we're aware of, some we are unaware of.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, we have the Bella Bears and
Yeah.
we've given out a lot of those.
Yeah.
And to
And we'll share that.
grieving people,
Mm-hmm.
grieving mothers, grieving
Mhm.
fathers, grieving children. Um, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but I think it makes an impact and it
Absolutely.
plants a seed. Um, so
And
we'll,
that's what our daughter was about.
yeah,
She was about Jesus.
yeah, she was a light, that's for
Very
sure.
much so. Very much so. And I think learning how to take your loved one with you through
Yeah,
life
yeah.
is important.
And trying to emulate her and trying to be her light it's hard. It's something I want to do. It's something I strive to do.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm also a grown man who's been through a lot,
Yeah.
and so trying to have that same light as a 9-year-old girl,
Mhm.
it's it's hard.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see what we can do to bring that light, her light into us,
Mm.
Christ into us better, and
And share it with
portray that.
others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good show.
you can do it.
You can too. We do the hard things.
We do the hard things.